So we've talked about chiropractors a lot, and the main problem that you might be noticing, and the certain course that is really running true throughout all of this, is that chiropractors cannot be trusted to regulate themselves. And we've had the story from last week in the UK of a chiropractor basically, severing a man's spine and killing him. There are numerous examples we've covered from the US in the past on this channel, and you can just go back and back. You can even go to these actual chiropractor regulators, and you can see people who were accused of sexual misconduct just being allowed to continue practicing. And this is why we need to take the regulatory power out of chiropractors' hands and actually put them into a real, genuine medical body, to a point where chiropractors are not allowed on this board. Now, you might be asking, why are chiropractors allowed to regulate themselves? Well, you've only got to look at what's happened in the US, because at the moment the US is quite a patchwork, shall we say, of different regulatory bodies. And you'll notice that when chiropractors are pushing for to be allowed to be able to practice in that state, one of the big things they push is that they want to be able to regulate themselves, because they claim they are the best authority to be able to regulate that. And as we've already shown in the past, and again even just the past week, you had the chiropractic body in the UK who clearly needs to be gotten rid of as soon as possible, allowed a chiropractor who had not only severely damaged someone but injured them to the point of, well, they died, has allowed this chiropractor to continue to be able to practice. Now, every single proponent of chiropractic that we have ever covered, inevitably there are defenders. And all these defenders always have a go at the medical establishment. Well, here's the thing. The medical establishment, if a doctor, for example, had a clear link from the autopsy report showing that, this medical doctor had administered, maybe he performed surgery wrong, maybe he'd administered too much of the drug, he'd lose his license, or he'd stopped being practiced until it could be looked into further. The problem is with this chiropractor in particular, where she has clearly been responsible for this man's death. Remember, she's been arrested at this point, but the chiropractic body just gone, oh yeah, we'll allow her to keep him practicing. And you might wonder why this is. Well, me and myself and certainly others have speculated about this continuously, because we've seen, as we said, continuous, shall we say, violations of where, if you looked at them in the medical world, they'd lose their license immediately, or they'd be stopped from practicing until the investigation, till full investigation to be carried out, and then determined, do they lose their license, or were there extenuating circumstances where they can continue on, whatever. There is a full investigation process. Here, this woman just gone, and I keep on emphasizing the point, this chiropractor killed someone, has been arrested for it, and the board of regulators in the UK has allowed her to keep her license. So after this person has served their criminal sentence, she will be allowed to go back to being a chiropractor. And it's, the mind boggles. But the real truth, as we pull it back, the real truth is they want to appear to be good. Because as we've always constantly say on this channel, The whole reason why these alternative medical practitioners try to appear goody two shoes and sweeping any potential issues under the rug is because they want a seat at the medical table. They want to be taken seriously as actual legitimate medical practices when they have absolutely no right to be so. Particularly when you come out look at the science angle, where there is absolutely no proof that chiropractic does anything of the claims these things back up. I've also had someone come to me recently that the woman who we were talking about, who killed this guy, also on her Facebook page, posted numerous times about anti-vax stuff. Apparently she performed chiropractic on babies as well. And we've talked about this many times. You should never, ever allow a chiropractor to touch a baby. At that age, a baby's bones are like jelly. That so you should just not be, doing that is absolutely insane. Imagine you going to jelly and just going like that. That is literally what a chiropractor is doing to a baby's bones. So this, it needs to stop. And the only way you can stop it is we need to go after the regulator. And to start with, this needs to be used political pressure. So I've already said that I am composing a letter to my MP, which when I'm done with it, I will read out on here, and I will encourage others to take it forward. Now, I'm also thinking maybe this doesn't need to be a letter, maybe it needs to be a change.org petition. I don't know which way to go with it at the moment, but either way, there needs to be some form of formal letter, because this obviously will then end up going to the MPs, House of Commons. If it reaches 10,000, the government will have to respond, and if it reaches over 100,000, then it will have to be debated in Parliament. Now, the advantage of if you, for example, send one to an MP can try and schedule a debate for this in Parliament, or even call for a committee where they can call, for example, they can actually call the regulator to start answering why they decided to allow this person to continue table practicing, even though there is clear evidence that she is responsible for that guy's death. So we need to actually start a real formal process in how we get rid of the General Chiropractic Council, which is responsible for the regulations of UK chiropractors. Remember, if you look on this board, you look on their website, all these guys are chiropractors. There's not a single one of them who is actually a real, properly trained medical doctor. So we have to change that because obviously if you've got chiropractors looking at chiropractors, and particularly if you, for example, let's say a chiropractor injures someone, but in their mind and profession they did the right thing, what's this chiropractor who is responsible for that regulation going to say? Well, of course they're going to say, "Oh yeah, it's fine. I would have done the same thing. So let him go." And then it boggles the mind. It really does. But yeah. So yeah, we'll continue doing this, because I think I need to put some real time into actually composing this, and I want to try and find as well some real evidence and statistics as well. So if anyone knows of any statistics or other cases that I can use as evidence, particularly against the General Chiropractic Council, know of, then please do leave a comment below. Don't send me over Twitter or anything, because I'm not a Twitter file. Chances are if you sent it me on Twitter I will miss it. So leave it, send it in the comments below, I will be able to certainly see it then. So, yeah, so thanks for listening, and hopefully soon, yeah, we'll go to action against the General Chiropractic Council.